Hello, once again, and welcome back to the LampLighters podcast. It's been a long time since we were all together, but here we go again.
Definitely been a while.
I know.
It has.
It has. For those of you who have forgotten who on earth we are, I'm Zach Hampton, he's Jalen Corver, she's Lauren Smith, and here we are once again to discuss NHL action. It's exciting to be actually talking about hockey again.
Yeah, with all three of us, like we said, it's been a while, and I mean, Lauren's done a good job the past 2 weeks putting out episodes on her own, and then we've been a little busy with other things, but
we had a good episode that one time.
Oh yeah,
That was a good laugh. McDavid hasn't had a hat trick since then, so now you must be happy.
Maybe we jinxed that. Maybe we need to.
No, but Tavares has.
Yeah, okay, that's the Islanders though. But that's just over in the East. No one cares about the East.
Well, some people.
I do.
I do.
Like I think more than half of NHL fans probably more than East and West.
Probably.
I think we must have also jinxed Yager because he goes out and gets injured too. Bad showing. It's becoming the Lamplighters curse. Anyone we talk about ends up falling on their face.
Oh yeah, I mean it'd suck for someone like Tavares or someone to go out for a long time, hey? Just that would be horrible for the Islanders.
It'd be horrible.
Yeah, it'd really suck if something happened to Johnny Gaudreau.
His trade value. Oh, think of how cheap Toronto could get him though.
Yeah. Well, apparently Mitch Marner's name's in the rumor mill right now.
Really?
Yeah.
For trades?
Yeah.
Mitch Marner. Where would he go?
They're saying Carolina for Justin Polk.
I can see that happen.
Anyways, let's discuss something, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, the team.
The Colorado Avalanche.
We got a lot to discuss this time around. We got the Team Canada roster just dropped. We've got Vegas has seemingly forgotten to lose. Montreal's forgotten to win, except for the other night. Thank goodness.
Arizona doesn't know how to win.
Arizona just doesn't know how. You got Rick, their coach, apologizing for the fact that his team can't play well. And you got Colorado being ripped off as usual. Although you could almost argue it's a sense of karma for that Matt Duchene offside goal a few years ago. Again, which was...
No.
No? Okay.
Because that Matt Duchene goal was within the rules. This was the NHL screwing up the rules.
So for those of you who don't know, Lauren, would you like to explain what happened in a game between Colorado and St. Louis from earlier? Was it earlier this week, was it?
Yep.
It was actually last Thursday, right after I finished recording the last podcast. So I was watching the St. Louis Colorado game, and Andrighetto got the pass, and it's like in the last couple minutes of the period, receives the pass offside. Offside is not called. He exits the zone with the puck, and then re-enters. Now the play is technically onside, and that's like by NHL rules, the play is now onside. He scores the goal. St. Louis challenges, which fair enough, because it was an offside challenge, they were still allowed to challenge. But the review should have only gone to that last zone entry. The NHL reviewed past that point, and they revoked the goal, and it cost Colorado at least 1 point, which right now might not seem much, but when you look at the fact that both the Islanders and the Tampa Bay Lightning were 1 point away from being in the playoffs last year, that 1 point is a big deal.
Do we really see Colorado in playoff contention, though, this year?
No.
So it really matter? Oh, it might help their draft. If anything, this helped them, because now they might get a higher draft pick. Look at it that way. Maybe they're thankful.
Well, regardless, I mean, at this point, they could make it, whether we like it or not. So far this year, you're about a tenth of the way into the season. And they're considered to be one of the better teams at this point in time. But regardless of that, I mean, and this offside goal, this review, had to go through the NHL Situation Room. It's not a hard rule to know that you can't review past that point. Someone should have caught that. This isn't some linesman on the ice that doesn't know that rule that screwed it up. Someone in that situation rule should have been keeping an eye on that. You should know that rule. That's a problem.
I mean, to be fair to the league, at least they came out and apologized.
Yeah, but
So what?
that doesn't help Colorado.
What does that do?
No,
That's like me punching you in the face and breaking your nose and going, "Oh, I'm sorry." Does that fix your nose? No, it doesn't.
No. This is sometimes the way it goes, though. Sometimes it just doesn't work.
Right.
This offside rule over the last couple of years it's been implemented has resulted in numerous incidents like this over the years. And before it was implemented, we had the reverse case. Like Matt Duchene.
But regardless, you set a point for when you can review back to. If there's a point that you cannot review past, you should know that.
Where does the line fall with that exactly? If you look at it, I mean, everything...
Would you like me to read the rule?
If you feel like it would help.
Note 1 on rule, I believe it is 67.8, or it might be 78.7, either way. The puck does not, or goal will only be reviewed for a potential offside infraction if A, the puck does not come out of the attacking zone, or B, all members of the attacking team do not clear the attacking zone again, between the time of the offside play and the time the goal is scored. Both of those things occurred. They both cleared the zone, and all of their players cleared the zone. It is completely within that rule that goal should have counted.
I mean, it's also in the rule that every high stick infraction should be called, but there's phantom calls all over the place.
It's video review.
The game is
video review is when you're supposed to get it right. Video review is for when you screw up and need to fix it.
Goalie interference then? And video review and how subjective that is?
That's subjective. He left the zone. He left the zone. That is not a subjective thing. That is, did he leave the zone? Yes. Well, that's the new entry.
That's true, but there's always people complaining that review procedures always take way too much time and slow down the game. Yes, they should have caught that, but you know what? It's a human mistake, and they probably tried to get it done as soon as possible, and they forgot about that rule. That never really happens. You hardly ever see that happen.
When have we seen that rule?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of that rule happening before. So it's obviously someone just forgot it, and unfortunately, that's just a mistake that happens in sports. I mean, that's like one of the main reasons why you won't ever see, like, in baseball, like, robotic umpires, like, where they'll always get the call right no matter what. That's part of sports where there's always a little bit of that human error.
And I appreciate the rule in baseball as well, because they just give the umpire the final say. Here's the rule book. It's up to the umpire to figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah, but the reality, like, this is a video review, and if you have more than one person, realistically you should be looking at that and going, okay, that seems a little bit weird, let's double check this. Because you know what people would rather have? You get that rule right. Because what looks worse for the league? Taking an extra 30 seconds and getting that call right, or having to come out the next day and go, we messed up. We cost the team a point that could make the difference between them making the playoffs or not. In fact, not even necessarily 1 point. That could be 2 points.
What about 1999? I mean, that's subject to video review as well, and it was a clear violation of the rules. I mean, sometimes this happens. I mean, in that incident's even worse. Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. I mean, this just happens sometimes. Yeah, that in that case, the Buffalo fan base is never going to forgive the league for causing that much heartache, or perhaps even, should we go back to 2004, Jalen? Although that's more about inconclusive evidence.
That's just more inconclusive, I think. That's
the Brett Hall one's interesting because it seems to be the larger parallel to the situation.
I think that's
a video review situation where they clearly got the call wrong.
That's probably the biggest example, like in arguably sports history, that they got wrong, because that was the difference between winning the cup and losing the cup.
Well, I mean, it was just Game 6 and they were down 3-2 in the series, but nevertheless.
But yeah,
it still had the gravitas of the situation. I mean, it just happens sometimes. If pro sports is 100% correct 100% of the time,
it wouldn't be fun.
On the ice, yeah, sure. On the ice for those officials, yes. If you're going to a video review, you better get that video review correct.
But they did.
If it is a black and white blatant thing, you better call that video review correct. Because otherwise, what is the point of you having it?
I just think that this rule was too obscure that in this day and age when people don't really like video review and want it done as soon as possible and want to speed up the game, I think it's just one thing that they little forgot. And yeah, I mean, it sucks now looking back that it had a big effect on the game, but it's just part of the game.
I don't know. I could very easily find it looking under the coach's challenge section of the rule book.
Yeah, I just don't know.
It's the first note on that rule.
Just don't know how they missed that then.
Like, it's not like it is note number 1 about that rule. It's not like it's some far off thing or like note 6. It's your first note about it. And even if it's not about the coach's challenge, that should be an established thing of video review, is you only review to the last zone entry. Because yes, we see it in this situation, but in any situation, it's only to the last zone entry.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I see your point, and I agree with your point. It's just, it sucks. It's bad. It's just bad.
No. I have a lot of pent-up rage over that moment.
You said that before, and you definitely were a lot more animated than we were expecting. Wow.
I don't know, and like I've been a ref before, and it's different. Like I refed wrestling, where yes, my call directly impacts whether or like what happens within that match and if you win or not. And the reality is, like I didn't have a video review, and I had to get it right. So I know the level I had to be at, and I know the level those refs have to be at. If it was just that linesman's call, yes, then you can go, that's an obscure rule. But if you're going to the NHL Situation Room, they should get that right.
I've just never been a fan of blaming the circumstances for a team's loss. They still had 3 minutes left in that game. They still could have rallied around and came back.
Yeah, so could have the Hurricanes when Tyler Wong missed his penalty shot. But you have to consider what that does to a team. Like, how demoralizing is that moment?
It's demoralizing,
but team's mentally strong enough.
But at the same time, it should motivate them that, oh, you know what? We need to go out there and get this right, I think, in a way.
In sports, to a certain extent, you make your own.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's never...
It was less than 3 minutes left.
That's... Teams have scored within 9 seconds of the puck being dropped to the face-off before.
Yeah, teams have also scored... have also not scored for 40 minutes.
Exactly. There's numerous circumstances to be taken into account, but I think at the end of the day, it's not up to a team to say, hey, a rule screwed us up. I think the only team that has a right to probably have ever said that is probably Buffalo. But even they could have ended the game early in overtime had they played better. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's a shame for Colorado, but, at the end of the day, they need to pick up their socks and move on because the season is 82 games long.
Oh, they have. They won their last game.
Yeah.
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 There's plenty of other things going on in the league at this time, though.
Yeah.
So, Jay, do you want to take this over to maybe Vegas?
Oh, Vegas. Vegas is just killing it right now. I'm gonna put a caveat on this though. They've played 7 games now? They're at 7 games?
8.
8 games.
8 games. 7 and 1. 3
and
of
how
those
many
wins were in overtime.
And how many games have been at home?
That I'm not sure of. Let me take a look.
number of them.
Yeah, I think they've only had 2 road
4 or
games.
5, 4 or 5.
I'm pretty sure they've only had 2 road games
Even
and
6?
6 home games. Come on, stats lady, you're supposed to know this.
I'm looking it up right now.
Be faster. I'm pretty sure they've only had 2 road games.
Their opening 2 games were on the road.
And then the rest they've played at home? So they've been on, what, a 6-game road or homestand?
Yep. They'll have one more at home tomorrow against Colorado. And then their next road game will be against the New York Islanders.
Oh.
So, you know, I hope they're ready to accept their second loss of the season then.
Big talk. Colorado's going to be fired up, remember?
Yeah.
Anyways, no, they've been playing some exciting hockey. I mean, they're winning some close games and winning some games in overtime, coming back, and they've been. I think they're surprising most people who didn't think they'd be doing this well so far.
They're doing it with the third string goalie, may I point out?
Third and fourth, really.
Yep.
It's nuts.
They're continuing to do this. They had their last win came with Subban being injured as well, I think.
No, they won with Dansk since Subban got injured. Dansk started and played the whole game since that.
He beat Chicago, didn't he?
He beat Chicago.
Yep, 4-2.
Yep, that was Dansk.
And I will also point out that their best defenseman, Shea Theodore, is waiver exempt and currently
he's not even on the team.
and he's on pace for 137 points down there.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the whole Shipachyov controversy now, where for some reason management has offered him to go seek a trade. I'm not sure how that works.
I know a team who could use a center.
Yeah, but I've heard he hasn't been showing that well in training camp.
They haven't been using him.
But obviously there's a reason they're not using him. If he
because
was that
he's waiver exempt.
And the Canadiens have already said they aren't pursuing the trade with him.
That's through the Bob father. Yes.
It's just, I don't know. You think if he was actually good, Vegas would make an attempt to actually have them on their team. And obviously they're seeing something where he's not. But you look at Shea Theodore as well, right?
I think they're keeping the good chemistry in the room. I don't think they want to disrupt that.
That's true too, I guess.
But may I point out that Vegas is also 29 out of 31 in terms of their Corsi 5-on-5.
So they're bound to come back, which I still think, like going back to my home ice advantage right now, they're playing with a lot of emotion due to the Vegas tragedy, having a new team coming out.
But no other I don't buy the new team coming out. All these other expansion teams in the past, none of them have had this success. This is nearly unprecedented.
Maybe it's their Twitter account. Maybe their Twitter account is motivating.
It's all the sass.
It's so good.
They also rank top 5 in the NHL in even strength save percentage and PDO. So, and PDO's been coming up a lot this season already. So,
yeah, they're an interesting team. I'm gonna keep my eye on them. Yeah, they're fun to watch.
Yeah, no, they on paper some of their stuff is concerning, but on the whole, I think that their goaltending is massive for them.
Yeah.
I believe they have only had 2 games below a 90 save percentage. Other than that, I round all of my stats to 2 decimals just because that's how much room I have. But from that rounding, 94 is their lowest save percentage. Other than their 2 games below 90.
It's pretty good.
So let's say your general manager McPhee, Jay, is at what point do you hope that they start losing?
Because I read an article about that the other day.
Yeah. At what point do you want? Yeah, with the Hockey News is Matt Larkin.
Yeah.
He interestingly points out that you had all these assets. That you had all these players, the James Neals, the David Perrons of the world. You were looking at flip at the trade deadline to keep bringing in draft picks and prospects, start filling up the records that you're far behind all the other NHL teams with. Their farm system is definitely not in the same ballpark as even some of the lower class teams in the league. At this point, just doesn't have the depth. If Vegas keeps succeeding, those draft picks are going to get lower and lower and lower, and you're not going to be trading your assets at the trade deadline. And
it's true.
There's probably going to be a couple conditional picks which aren't going to be met either. So, do you just take the success for what it is, and maybe it costs you down the line, or do you?
Yeah,
I think maybe
the best.
Maybe.
Well, because really, I mean, if you could be the first expansion team to make the playoffs, would you rather have that or win the draft lottery?
True.
You got that great Swede coming up in the draft this year, right?
What's his face?
Is it Dallin?
Yeah, Dallin. Yeah. Yeah, he could be a good snag to get. I'd hope he doesn't go to a different team.
A team up north that's having some big problems right now.
Yeah, they don't need him.
A team up north that is, 31st in scoring, is it?
With arguably the best player in the NHL.
Well, they went 2 years without the first overall draft pick, so something has to change with that.
Just another banner will be being raised to the roof.
Hold up. Do I remember somewhere hearing that for the first 3 years, Vegas has top 3 chances of getting first pick overall? Or was that just a...
That's what I was thinking.
Or is that just a concept thing yet?
Let me look it up.
I feel like I remember hearing that somewhere. For their first 3 years, they're guaranteed one of the top 3 or 5 picks.
Vegas guaranteed pick. I'm going to say Golden Knights. I mean, all these NFL things. Frequently asked questions about the Las Vegas franchise. Now, I don't think that's true because they were only guaranteed they were only guaranteed 6th overall of this draft, which they ended up getting. These are all expansion draft questions. 2017 draft. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm finding no evidence of this.
Do you remember hearing that though, or not?
I remember hearing it.
You do. Interesting.
Eligibility, top players, traded picks. Round 1. Okay, the traded picks. Okay. The only traded first-round pick currently right now is the Calgary Flames. First-round pick will go to the New York Islanders as a result of the trade. It's Travis Hamonic.
Okay. Well, I guess maybe that is a
unresolved. He also.
I'm sorry, guys. This is some riveting podcast going on right now, but I'm trying to figure this out.
Very riveting. I can just feed the listeners. They need a bump in the ratings. So
is it time I know we normally talk about baseball or basketball to bump up our ratings, but can we talk about baseball for a second?
Dodgers.
What a game last night! Holy cow!
Yeah, I know. Sad showing for us. We're going to the Dodgers.
Yeah, I saw a stat something last night that about 22% of all home runs hit in the extra innings in the World Series were hit last night.
No.
Almost a quarter of all the home runs ever scored in extra innings in World Series histories were scored in one night. That is incredible.
Wow.
That's pretty exciting to watch. But anyways, there we go. Hopefully it bumps up our rating a bit. LA Dodgers, Houston Astros, that kind of stuff. Oh, do we need to talk about Hayward in the NBA?
Oh,
will that bump or will that bring our ratings down?
No, I don't want to talk about that. I do want to talk about my OKC Thunder as always. That's 2-2, gelling together. Take out Golden State. Take out Durant. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Anyways, did you know that the Vegas colors were chosen because steel gray represents strength and durability, while the other team colors are gold red, both of which are found in the Vegas skyline, and that red rock and black for power and intensity?
I did not know that.
Are you reading that on NHL.com?
No, I'm reading that off of Wikipedia. But what about the mascot? Have we talked about their mascot?
Do you know why they're called the Knights?
Oh, yeah, it's a military thing.
They're the defenders of the realm.
It's an homage to the Black Knights of the United States Military Academy, which is their owner Bill Foley's alma mater.
Yeah.
They couldn't go with Vegas Knights due to the London Knights owning the name Knights. So.
But there's some controversy with their name, right?
Yeah, U.S. Army expressed concern because of their parachute team also uses the nickname. And then an objection was also raised by the College of St. Rose because its team uses the same name. It was originally rejected for copyright and then was later approved. Anyways, Team Canada, anyone? Looks like we've got a preliminary crack at the Canadian Olympic team.
Yeah, they just came out about an hour before we started recording.
I would like to know why we've got Wolchuk Wolski on our team. But can we talk about the obvious thing? Where's Jerome McGinley?
There must be a reason he's not on this roster. I wonder if he feels like he still has a chance to get an NHL contract somewhere, or what's going on with that. I'm not sure.
He may also just have decided that, when he made that decision before the 2014 Winter Olympics, that he wasn't going to play international anymore, that he just stuck to that.
Yeah, maybe.
No one's talking about it on Twitter for sure.
I feel like Elliot Friedman had that in his 30 thoughts yesterday.
31 thoughts?
Sorry, 31 thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know. As I'm looking at this roster, though, the other thing is, remember that if they could get a deal done with the CHL, which might give the roster a little bit more meat on its bones. Get Sam Steele on there.
I just think it's
Although my question is, because if AHL players are on NHL contracts, they can't go.
Mm-hmm.
What happens with CHL players who have NHL contracts?
Then they probably can't go either.
So Sam Steele can't go.
No.
But you know who could go?
Who could go, Zach?
I'm trying to think of players who haven't signed it. Who are in that, probably in their 20-year-old season who were... Yeah, you've always got a couple players like that, like Wong was last year, right?
Yeah.
They're 20 years old, they don't have an NHL contract.
Giorgio Estefan.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here.
So.
Let's.
No, I know that was a joke.
It's like a.
You know who I wanted on? Who I wish could have been going? Steenbergen.
He's not on. I don't think he's been signed by Arizona.
Has he not been?
Ooh, that could be a good example. See, the thing is, Elliot Friedman brought up a good point, where it'll be tough if our junior players go play at the World Juniors and miss their team for 2-3 weeks up to a month, and then have to go to the Olympics for a month as well. That's 2 months gone out of crunch time in December and February for these teams when they're fighting for playoff spots. You're losing your best player. That's got to be tough on CHL teams if this does go through.
Yeah, Steenbergen of note has not been signed by the
there we go.
Arizona Coyotes.
He's the best example. That's for sure. We could land Steenbergen, that would be ideal.
Is he overrated?
You tell me. 2 goals per game. 2 goals per game.
Is he a flash? I don't know. He played really well last year as well. He was tied with Wong for the goal scoring lead, and now this year he's absolutely killing it again. It's just a matter if he can translate that to playing it in the big leagues, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've got a good feeling about the CHL players going. I mean, then you got to remember the AHL players who are just on AHL contracts too.
Tyler Wong.
He's not necessarily ripping it up. Let's put it like that. Got the penalty.
Yeah.
Got the penalty hat trick the other night.
You got 3?
And one in each period.
Oh no.
So he's not exactly ripping it up. I don't think he's going to be in the conversation.
Side note, still talking Hurricanes, ex-Hurricanes. Anyone checked how Brendan Manel is doing these days?
Yeah, he's getting top 4 minutes.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Getting top 4 minutes in Iowa. Don't expect him back.
Nope. I don't think he's coming back. But
Nope.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay. We already have to figure out one overager.
Yeah. Which I'm not sure when that'll happen, but
yeah. Tyler Wong, 5 games, 1 goal, 0 assists, 8 PIM, -3. He's playing on the top line too.
Is he though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not producing.
Oh.
I'm not sure that's because Chicago's bad or he's just not.
That's too bad for him. Hopefully he comes around. I'm not too worried. So, what else do we need to talk about today? Any other topics?
Did we even talk about the Olympic team?
Oh, we just kind of got distracted, I guess.
Well, we discussed the CHL and the Olympic team.
And again, not
I like to point out
Yeah.
Ben Scrivens has a chance to be our number 1 goalie. And I want to see how
Yeah.
bad Ilya Kovalchuk lights him up.
Yeah, that's not our best goaltending duo there.
I think that the best
No, well, I mean, part of it is even, like, most of our young goaltenders who are good are already under contract with the NHL, so.
take a notoriously long time to develop.
Mm-hmm.
It's the ones that have fallen out of favor aren't necessarily that good. But that defense is terrible. I honestly don't... I haven't recognized one name on their defense corps. And that'd be Simon Dupree.
Jesse Blacker, I recognize.
Yeah, no, definitely just Simon Dupree is the only one I recognized.
He was a former first-round pick, Pittsburgh Penguins. Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Not to go Pierre Maguire on everybody.
Pierre Maguire.
How much does he annoy you? Does he annoy you as much as people say he does?
I like this conversation. Yeah, he's not my favorite.
What? How not? Encyclopedic knowledge of the game. Little creepy. But makes
mostly the creepiness. Mostly the creepiness.
And come on, that call of the upper league goal.
You knew what I was looking up as well.
Can you believe it? I can, because they ice the puck. Lauren would be happy because all he goes on about is Tavares' magical play. Can we get the call?
Oh, I don't listen to him at all.
Hold on, call incoming.
we're gonna get the call. All right.
He just ruins a perfect moment. It should have just been quiet, just listening to the crowd.
I'm pretty sure all Tavares did was just cover the puck towards the net. I don't think he meant to get it over. Everly had the tough job.
Who kept it in on the point? Was that Subban?
It was Ryan Ellis.
Ryan Ellis.
Subban was on the ice, but Ryan Ellis was on the point.
Boychuk was also in that scrum.
Boychuk's
Current left European at the point.
And current Zach Hampton Twitter follower.
Doesn't he follow like thousands of people?
He follows like everyone.
To be fair, I don't think he follows me.
To look at the forwards.
Oh, he follows me.
Oh, come on.
So look at the forwards. Mason Raymond. This is going to strike fear into the hearts of the Ruskies. Raymond.
He scored one of those lacrosse goals. Come on.
Christian Thomas. Matt Fratton. We'll all remember him for missing the breakaway in Toronto's collapse game. Andrew Ebbett. In the Hall of Infamy, Gilbert Brulé, the failed 6th overall pick of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Rene almost Bork.
Bork. Classic.
Lyndon Vey, Vancouver Canucks outcast. Quentin Howden, failed first-round pick. I'm noticing a pattern here. Brandon Kozin led it up to the Calgary Hitmen, never got drafted. And Derek Roy, well washed up from his good days in Buffalo. Oh, and don't forget former Lethbridge Hurricane Rob Klinkhammer.
Oh, Klinky.
And Wojtek Wolski and Dylan Sikura. Matt Ellison, Eric Odell, and that's about it. This is going to be the roster that strikes fear into the hearts of not only the Russians, but the Americans and the Finns, too. Say goodbye to the gold medal streak. Dinner.
Who's our coach again?
I'm not counting this, though. That isn't fair. We're not undefeated. But anyways.
As I would love to quote the guy in the comments I saw, even the Habs could beat this roster.
Do we want to take a minute and talk about the Habs?
If you want to, we can.
I mean, more Zach talk about the Habs?
Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? I would like to point out that their California road trips have been like this for years. It just happened to be this early in the season this time around. But you're leading the league in shot. You're leading the league in Corsi. But these shots aren't coming from very good places, and those measures don't really cover that well. I will give that you have one of the lowest PDOs in the league, but still at the same time, this team roster isn't gelling, and Mark Bergevin's comment about how the defense was better than last year is a joke. Doesn't help that Schlemko has a hand injury on top of all that. The bright spot is that Victor Medi.
Oh.
A young defenseman playing with Shea Weber. London Knights ain't going to be getting him back. He's playing his 10th game tonight. I mean, they finally woke up. I mean, the worst part is you can't really blame people like Shea Weber for this. They aren't playing badly. You can't point at the Subban deal and say this is all because of that. Which is what half the fan base is doing right now and half the writers.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Plus, you got $8 million.
Well, I think the pointing of that finger is pointing at the fact that, the lack of scoring and stuff has been an issue for years with Mark Bergevin. And that's just it's the most notable deal that he's done, but he's the one that's built this team, so...
Well, I mean, fans...
They're still bad.
Here's the thing, fans are calling for his head. Who are you gonna get to replace
There's nobody out there.
And here's the thing, is half the candidates don't qualify because they can't speak French.
Very true.
So what are you even going to do? You can't really get rid of him. At least he's not going to make a panic trade right now. And we all know what they're waiting for in the $8 million in cap space. So...
Who would that be?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps a number one center who's looking at the free agent market this summer. Possibly. Because they think they might be able to get at the trade deadline if his team isn't doing that well.
Oh.
I don't know. So far, that team's been doing better than this team that wants to sign him.
Yeah, but I think Montreal starts an aberration still. I still think that they'll be fine.
I was reading a stat.
It's their worst start since 1941.
Well, look at the reverse logic, though. The last 2 years, they've had two of their best starts in franchise history, and they pretty much fell on their face in both seasons in two very different ways. Maybe the worst start in franchise history will develop something else.
It's true.
I don't think Pacioretty's captain, though. I do agree with that. I don't think he can live up to the pressure.
I don't think so either.
I think he needs to hand it over to Shea Weber.
True. I was reading a stat the other day looking at losing streaks in a building, seeing that Calgary finally beat their streak in Anaheim.
It's going to be Montreal and San Jose, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say that's one of the longest now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
like time-wise, not necessarily games, but time-wise.
Really yeah, it's not very good.
Ouch.
Montreal still has yet to finish the first period with a lead.
But they didn't exit the first. They didn't allow a goal in the first period for the first time all season. In their last game. So building blocks, optimism.
Optimism.
The season's not lost after 10 games. Not lost for anybody except for maybe Arizona.
That's a head scratcher. Like, you think they would be doing like decently well. Like, their GM has been like putting together what should be a fairly decent team, but you got Ekman Larson and Ranta should be doing okay. Well, he's injured, I guess, so you can't really blame it on him. They need to pick up a different backup goalie. They're just not performing well down there right now.
No.
Bad.
No. Their power play needs to pick up.
Keller?
But for the most part, I'd say they lose it in the third period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of their games going into the third period, there's a few where it's been like, yeah, they weren't going to win it. But they've had a few where they've looked like they could take it going into the third, where they've at least been even. And they hit that third period, and it's just done.
Strange. Just no finish. Keller's been doing good. I like him. He's going to be a player someday, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that it ain't going to be this year for his team. It's very unfortunate to be a Coyotes fan. I know one, too.
And that's an actual Coyotes fan?
I do, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's extremely disappointing to see what they're going through right now. But it is what it is, and you just move up and hope for better things.
Yeah.
You hope for Dahlin.
Falling
for Dahlin.
Falling for Dahlin. Yeah, I think that's what teams are going with these days.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but So then again, we got teams like New Jersey who just need to get back to the law of averages already. They're coming out with a lot of fire, and that's really shocking me. Did you see that they have a new team T-shirt altogether?
No, what is it?
The David Putty, We're the Devils.
Yes.
We're number one.
Yes. Oh, that's too good.
Oh. Seinfeld.
It's exciting.
But, there's an awful lot going around in the league these days, and you think of anything else that we haven't touched on that's of some significance?
Well, I was going to say with Zach's point about Montreal's shooting chances and how he thinks that's going to turn around, Jalen better hope that's not the case, because the number one Corsi team in the league is the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
With more than 100-point shot differential.
That's just called the law of averages. That'll catch up. I think Montreal and Edmonton are both playoff bound.
Yeah.
They don't shake my confidence at all. I think where New Jersey and Vegas are, they'll drop out and those two will come.
That's true.
But I think that teams who have adversity to start a season set themselves up a lot better in the long run. 2012 Kings, anybody? Sneaking in the 8th seed, firing Daryl Sutter.
Yeah.
And mind you, Montreal and Edmonton both have glaring weaknesses that the 2012 Kings didn't have. 2012 Kings also acquired Jeff Carter to trade them, who's currently out with an injury himself.
Yeah, I heard about that. Speaking of injuries, did you guys see that Bieksa fight the other night with the Superman punch?
Oh, the Superman punch.
He's out for a while now because he injured his hand on it.
Oh. I'm glad he didn't injure Gudas. My fantasy team needs him.
No, of course they do. I think all of our fantasy teams need help. We're not doing so well, Zach.
Beating Justin 9-2 this week.
That's good. It's good. I'm doing fine. I've just had a couple rough weeks and matchups the first couple weeks.
You know who's a real surprise for me this year? Sean Couturier. Playing first line in Philadelphia, got 9 points so far.
Couturier. Who's he on top line with? Giroux and
Voracek.
And Simmons the second line?
Yeah, Simmons is going through some injury bugs.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's not terribly bad, but it is what it is.
Well, have anything else to talk about? I think we've kind of covered.
How's Zach's feeling about his overrated Tampa Bay Lightning?
Well, again, early on. How do you feel about your overrated Steven Stamkos?
I feel like you've called.
I just said that I think he gets hurt a lot.
All I say is he's not a good fantasy option because he gets hurt a lot. I think if we went back in the tape, we have tape of Lauren calling him overrated though, and that he doesn't.
Yeah, because he's always out hurt. So why is?
And I quote, he doesn't have that much impact on his team.
Oh, really? That's really interesting. Who's leading the league in points right now?
And have you seen the with Stamkos record versus the without Stamkos record?
Who doesn't have an impact on their team?
Interesting. I stand by it.
Nikita Kucherov, though.
Oh, he's been killing it.
Is his point streak still going?
Yeah.
Like I saw him continue against the Lightning with 5 seconds to
against the Lightning.
The Hurricanes,
he's on ago. Yeah, no, he's been killing it this year. That was a good pickup for me in my hockey.
Yeah.
Gladly take that one.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't buy the Lightning hype just yet. I think Vadlovsky's playing over his head.
Give it some time.
I always think he is. I don't think this team. I think that the hockey world feels vindicated because Tampa Bay's their darling.
Darling?
They're the darling.
The darling team? Does that mean they're going to get darling?
No, I'm saying they're the darling team. As in Scott
Darling? Who hasn't been playing well in Carolina
who they just lit up.
Oh.
They're making us look like fools for picking Carolina as the underdog team of the year. I will say this, though. How about Lumbus? John Tortorella, I think his coaching style works.
Obviously.
I've been saying it for years, though.
Torts.
No. Like him.
I'm still not a fan.
I still do.
Never forget Calgary.
And I think that they're looking really primed for the division early on. Washington certainly is not holding up to the smell test. And Pittsburgh has been all over the place.
Yeah, they could dominate one game and then get trounced the next game. They're a really weird team.
Pittsburgh nowadays. I mean, Toronto's looking like...
Toronto. They're looking like world beaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound real tentative there, Zach.
Yeah. I think Austin Matthews is for real, but I don't know about that defense. I've been saying it since the beginning, though. I just don't think that defense holds up over time. I think one injury to Riley or Zaitsev and they're in trouble.
Fair enough. Yeah, they don't really have much else other than that.
I mean, they got bits and pieces. They just signed Roman Polak. Again.
Yeah. That's... I know some Maple Leafs fans don't love him. I think he's more there just kind of because Babcock likes him.
He's there to clear the...
Connor Carrick is in the system, too. So, if someone goes down, he's looked good.
Well... Yeah. I think we're normally used to trivia ending here, but
yeah, we weren't really prepped for that today, unfortunately.
Well, it is what it is. We don't really have too many. There's no real permeating topic of this show, like we've had in the other one.
Yeah.
We gotta have video
that whole couple of weeks to come up with new trivia questions wasn't enough time.
She's throwing shade at you.
She has been the whole show. She's just mad about the beginning.
Yeah. I'm looking up one question that I thought about today.
What, you're gonna turn the tables?
Yeah. I thought about it.
Well, here we go.
As soon as I can pull it up.
What do we think about the Carolina captain choices?
Oh, the alternating captain thing? That's just stupid.
Yeah. Same.
I'm glad we finally agreed. Yeah, Jalen, you had a whole deal about this too, right? Changing captaincies.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic to discuss. Going from one person leadership group with like 3 assistants to just like a leadership group of basically just captains having no one leader. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I can see it maybe working in some places, but you kind of need one leader on your team pretty much to motivate the troops. I mean, maybe in your group of assistants, there's one guy who kind of takes on that role, but I think it's not always a bad idea just to have one person designated as the captain. Lauren?
No, I like having the captain. I think that, like, even, I mean, going back to when I was in high school on a wrestling team where everyone is an individual in the sport, we still had captains. And there is something about having that one leader who kind of takes charge. I mean, I think in some cities where there isn't really a clear-cut guy, then it might not be the right system until you can really find someone. I don't agree with also just putting, like, your best player in that role. I don't think that that's the best way to do it. But I definitely think that having a captain when you have a clear leadership person is good, but at the same time, everyone on your team needs to be able to step up and be a leader, because sometimes, you know what, your captain's not going to be the best.
That's true. Zach?
I think that in the league right now, I can see why it's trending this way, because the idea of leadership groups is surfacing ahead of the traditional captaincy and 2 alternates position. You see teams either going with a 1-3 configuration, a 2-2 configuration, a 1-4 configuration.
2-2?
It'd be, I guess, 2-1.
2 captains and 1 assistant?
2 captains alternating, 1 alternate.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Who does that now? Anybody?
That'd be what Carolina's doing, is it? Are they not 2 captains?
I thought they were just a group of captains.
Well, there's still people who need to wear the letters each.
Oh.
Yeah. Stahl and Falk alternate captains, and then Skinner one of their alternates?
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, that's the way it would probably go.
Oh, okay.
You get teams like Montreal where they've got two. I'm not sure if they're doing it this year, but last year they had 2 alternates at home, 2 alternates on the road. You have the 3 alternates, no captain thing. That's what Vegas is doing right now.
Yeah, but I think in that situation you're a new team, and you need to figure out your team dynamics before you just name a captain. Because I don't think anyone should just walk into a captain role. It's really about the dynamics of the team and who has the respect of the room and everything. So in that situation, no, I don't think they should have named a captain right away.
Well, I think you can look at it 2 ways. You can either say, we are going to look at the dynamic of the room and then pick a captain, or you can say, we're going to choose a captain to set the dynamic of the room. Now, Vegas didn't really bring in a player apart from Fleury who could really set the dynamic in the room, and of course you can't name him the captain. So that's probably...
Well, you can, you just shouldn't.
Well, no, they actually can't.
They can't now?
No, they can't. This is the whole Alongo thing. Because the goalie can't wear the C. He had a C painted on his mask. But that's not really naming him captain. And we all remember how that ended. Rumors that the Canucks would host their Christmas party in the corners of the arena just so he couldn't attend.
Wow. I'm coming up with some questions here. It might take me a minute, but I might be able to do a little bit of my own questions.
So you don't have to lose to me?
What?
Nothing.
Are you trashing me now? I thought this was just a trash Zach party. As it always is.
I mean, we mostly do that on the rare occasions where we text.
That is true. He doesn't know about that yet.
What?
Nothing.
Don't worry.
It's fine.
I'm being bashed on a separate thread. Of course.
Yeah, you are.
Yup. I Okay, I got like 3 questions, maybe. 2 for Zach, 1 for Lauren.
I get 2 questions. What's the topic?
Expansion teams and how well they've done in their...
Oh, man. It's not an area I'm well brushed up in.
Exactly, so that's a good topic.
That is the obvious topic.
See, this is tough. I don't know what's too easy or what's too hard. Like, I don't want to pose Lauren a question that she's going to have no idea. But at the same time, I don't want to make a fool of myself by asking her, like, a really easy question that she'll know. See, that's the struggle. Do you have the struggle, Zach, coming up with questions?
No, not really.
No?
It takes 20 minutes.
He just asks 1-point questions when it's supposed to be 2-point ones.
That only ever happened once.
Or 2, because you get the numbers mixed up.
Well, you know. Then I changed how to do it. Then I just give a hint as opposed to it being 2 different questions. Now it's just you surrender a point. It's a 2-point question, but you drop something 1, which is a better way to do it.
Okay. Okay, Zach Hampton. Your first question. The 1993-94 Florida Panthers have the best record coming out in their first season, their first inaugural season. Who was their leading goal scorer that year with 30 goals?
It's going to end up being a good guess. Get it. I'm going to say Scott Mellenby.
That is correct. That is a good, nice job.
The good old rat trick.
Proud of you. Proud of you. How many points did they miss the postseason?
Oh. So are you asking, is this a bonus question?
Yes,
or?
Bonus question.
Yeah, because they missed. So I've got to figure out their point total and the point total of the team that finished in the 8th spot.
I mean, I guess if you want to put it that way.
I don't know, 5?
1.
Really?
They missed
got
by
that close?
1 point. Yes.
It's a tragic story, but I'm going to take the Mellenby answer and run.
Okay. Lauren.
Good one.
Yeah.
This expansion team, in their first season, had a record of 1-39 away from home.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know it. San Jose?
Incorrect. I'll give you another guess. Because I'm kind.
I'm going to write down that answer.
Is it the Islanders?
That would have been clever, but no, it is not.
Is it Washington?
Washington is correct.
Yeah. 74-75.
74-75, the worst record in NHL history.
Funny story about that team. So I guess they won a game right near the end of the season, and they found a garbage can in the arena and they lifted it up and celebrated like it's a Stanley Cup. And I think the quote was, "This is ours. This is our Stanley Cup. This is our trophy tonight." And they went around the room carrying it like the cup. I love that story.
That's really funny. I've never heard of that. I read that here, and I was going to tell you that story, but obviously you heard that. Okay, this last one's for Zach. He should be able to get this one, I would think.
This will be the one I miss.
Who is the fastest NHL team to win a championship after they were expansioned into the league?
Okay, so does this include? So does this
No,
post 67?
Post 67.
Post
Yes, I should have made that.
Okay.
Because otherwise,
all right.
It's pretty obvious.
So there's of course. Okay, so there's 2. It could be. I just got to think about it. Give me 15 20 seconds. 5, 56, 77, 78, 79, 80. Okay. 80. Okay, so they won 79. 80. Yeah. So they won in 79-80. So that's 73, 74, 67, 60, 70. Okay, 67, 68, 70. Maybe Philadelphia.
That is correct.
Yeah. By one season over the Islanders.
By one season over the Islanders.
Yeah. I knew it was one of the two. But very close for the Islanders, but
just like they can't win anything.
Well,
I mean, ignoring the fact that they won how many cups already, but 4. Yeah.
Yeah. But I like this. I like being on the other side of trivia. Makes me feel good about myself.
You're welcome, I guess.
Washington Park. I like that one, and I like the Melody one.
Of course you got that.
Oh, the rat trick. Everybody knows the rat trick.
The rat trick.
Kill a rat in the dressing room. Or go out and score 2 goals. It's a rat trick. Then we litter the ice with plastic rats. Carries us all the way to the 96 final. We lose.
Who was Florida's first pick in the expansion draft?
Oh, year? I don't.
I could give you a hint, but it would.
I mean, presumably it's no one. I don't know anybody else. I mean,
he played with them for a few seasons afterwards.
Okay, can I get the position? Your lack of an answer makes me think it's a goalie. Is it a goalie?
Yes.
It's Jonathan Beesbrook.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, I was going to just tell you he is an award-winning player, but yeah, I couldn't tell you the position.
No, you realize there's only 2 players I know from that team.
Melody and Beesbrook. Of course.
John Van Beesbrook. He used to have like the open mouth panther on the mask before the Cujo dog mask.
It's really good.
This is classic. Oh my goodness. Expansion teams. Yeah. But that should just about do it for us.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've exhausted our.
I've exhausted my voice, and I think that's enough for me.
Yeah, I think we're done here for the day.
Yeah, so anyways, on behalf of Lawrence Smith and Jalen Corver, this is Zach Hampton wishing you a very wonderful upcoming week. Hopefully we'll be back around the same time next week.
Yeah.
If nothing goes to fail. And as you always say, Mr. Corver,
light that lamp.